Well, it's oh wow. We're almost at the end of the month. Amazing. Amazing. Well, it's Thursday, the 23rd of January. We've passed the inauguration. We have a new sitting president. Hopefully a lot of things will change in the coming year. Welcome to another edition of Otaco Thursday here on CutiCast TV. Uh, Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for making this one of the most successful shows on CutiCast TV. We've been doing very well with it. We're getting a very good response on both YouTube and on Rumble. We really do appreciate it. Please continue on that. Also, we are putting shorts out there to at least introduce you to the type of programming that we are offering here on Otaku Thursdays, which, like I said, every week, 6 p.m. Eastern on both YouTube and Rumble. And we really do appreciate that. There's a lot going on right now. I mean, today we're going to be discussing a whole bunch of things, just some minor stuff here and there, and also the continued onslaught from payment processors upon manga, anime. Basically, this is something that it's just been going on for quite some time now. We're hoping, because there are some things going on, there's some investigations, and hopefully this administration would put a stamp down on these American banks and institutions that are promoting censorship. And basically, this is adult content. I should have the ability to buy, to see, to rent. I mean, straight across the board on there. If you don't agree with the particular content, the particular art, or anything like that, obviously you don't have to watch it. Nobody's forcing you. So that's the great thing about America, is that you're forcing you. And the same thing overseas. They're not forcing you to watch it. You don't have to watch that, but you don't disrupt their businesses. But we'll get into that. We'll get into that later. But a couple things that I want to go over right now for this week. Basically, we have a lot of anime coming out. It's the winter season. Obviously, it's the winter season. We have a lot of things starting up on there. Obviously, there's a couple of animes that are still just finishing up their runs. We're still waiting for Arafuda, the Machi, Dragon Ball Damia. The last episode was really, really good. We know now, because it was leaked out, because of the episodes on Hulu, how many are left on there. We're going to hit it to episode 20. So figure this has got to be about at least February, I believe, if I'm not mistaken on that. If I did the count right on there, we're going to go into February. But there are other animes that just started up. I mean, right now, is it, what's it called? The Red Ranger Becomes an Adventurer. That one's been interesting. I mean, if you haven't heard this one yet, I mean, think to the perspective of a Power Ranger who ends up dying, gets resurrected in a world of fantasy and magic and all that. But the funny part is he has all his powers and at least one Zord with him. Think about that for a minute. I mean, that is just an insane concept. The other one that's really fantastic. It's beautifully done. I mean, here's one of the reasons why I say anime manga are an artwork. I don't care what you say, what you think of the content, whether it has nudity, whether it has violence or something. It is an artwork. And this is one of the animes that truly gets to that level. I mean, you've seen Demon Slayer. You've seen Mushiko Tensei and many others. This year, you have the one, it's called Zenshu. I've gone through a couple of episodes. It's beautiful. It's beautifully done. If you're not unaware of Zenshu and you haven't caught it on, because it's on Crunchyroll right now, it's showing you an animator in anime. There's someone who does the animation work on there and the hard time that they go through. And one day they end up eating some bad clams, and I'm not certain if they've died or basically this is a dream world or whatever it is. Think of it to the perspective that she's died, and now she is in the world of a anime movie that she's loved since little. And basically, she knows what's going to happen somewhat in this world. Some of it is very tragic. It's very sad on there, but she has the capability of changing that event, which literally it happens in the first episode. And basically, yeah, and you might say, what's her power? Well, actually, her power is, which is fantastic, is that she's able to draw creatures that are able to defend the city that she's part of now in this tale. And the way that it's these characters that she creates are not they're only pencil drawn, and it's fantastic when you see this. You're seeing the standard anime, the 2D, 3D, and then you see the pencil drawing of the additional character, and it's beautifully done. And I tell you, the part where she starts to draw, it's sort of like like a powering up. That alone is beautifully animated. I mean, some people are talking about this particular Zenshu to be, anime of the year already. I mean, we're only the 23rd of January, and we are already seeing to the point that we're seeing a hit. What's way ahead? I mean, Soul. You have Soul Leveling also, which is being. The last couple episodes have been fantastic. Also, fantastically drawn. The fights are fantastic. I mean, what more could we get out of this season? And then, of course, I've been watching the Bianco, the Elf Girl Cat, secretly a S rank monster. The other one, the from bureaucrat to villainous, Dad's been reincarnated, which that's a little weird in itself. That one is going to take me a while to get into, but it's interesting. It's really interesting. And then obviously Sakamoto Days over on Netflix. I've enjoyed that. I know some people have been disappointed somewhat to the nature, but we're still early in the episodes. But I like the concept. I really like the concept. I mean, think if you really want to, just to explain it just generally, I put it into the aspect when I've talked to some people on that. I think of it as John Wick's wife didn't die. They had children. He continued his retirement. His wife forbade him to basically kill anyone again. He's retired and has opened up a store. And basically, he's just sitting there. But now there are those who have put a price on his head. And now he has to try to fight them off without killing them. And it's done in a very comedic way and really good. But that's some of the things I've been catching. I mean, there's a lot more I can go through. And we'll talk about in the next couple weeks as we go into the season. There's a lot I have to get through, I'm still on last season. I'm still on the last two seasons, actually. There's so much out there. And of course, my schedule is very tight because, not only do we do a Taco Thursdays, that we have the Man with the show, and there's a lot of other things, Eventually, I'll have a crew here since we're in a new facility. And basically, we'll be able to put things together. And actually, we'll have other people working on these shows. In fact, we're looking for someone to take over this spot itself on a Taco Thursday to spice it up just a bit, just get another opinion to the anime that's out there in the news that goes on anime and manga, because there's so much to get into, so much to dive into. There was a time and a place where I myself, back in the day, back in the 80s, I used to have a couple of people working with me. We used to have a crew, and we used to share crews. That was the best part, and you see this in YouTube and Rumble, that some people like Nerdrotic, Geeks and Gamers, and all that, they all work together. And I'm looking to put something like that kind of a coalition once again together here. Unfortunately, most of the people that I've worked with are no longer in the business, or have passed away, or just not really interested to do stuff like this again. They're just out of it, all together. The times my group of producers and people who worked in the business, their time is gone. I mean, really, literally gone. I mean, there are some of us who are still out here pining for the fjord. No, I'm kidding. No, there are some of us out here, that some of them are older than me. I'm 58. There's some that are older than me that are still producing here on YouTube. I mean, that they started in the 70s on cable TV, and they're still doing this thing. Some of them are working with MSG Network, ESPN, and some of the others. This is what we became throughout the years. But let's move on. Let's move on a little bit. I don't want to go too much into that. And we got a lot today. We got Sailor Moon news. We got Damachi news. Like I said before, we got also the credit card processors are at it again, trying to boast censorship. That's our main story for today. But we're going to start off with this news over from High Dive. The one thing about this season, and we talked about it last week, was that basically there was going to be some massive delays due to weather, and we're probably going to get a lot more the date of this recording was like toward before and after the inauguration that we did it, because we did this in segments. And basically the weather here on the East Coast we just had a snowstorm, and we're dealing with bitter cold now. We're down in the teens. We're probably going to end up going 0 overnight. Down south, they're getting blizzard conditions. We're seeing bad weather in Texas, Louisiana, Florida, the upper end of Florida. Obviously, in Texas, we have the Crunchyroll is located there. Their production houses are there. So we're going to get even more delays on, say, like English dubs and productions. And then overseas, there are issues there that's going on, which is not well explained why some of these productions are on hold or basically delayed. Most of it, I believe, is just that a lot of these groups are way overworked or have too much going on in their production and don't have enough people to handle it. But High Dive has given some good news. And this is one thing about good news on the delays. We know about Danmachi, or is it wrong to try to pick up girls in Dungeon Season 5, which I was just getting into my rhythm when they cut it off at that point. So basically, they are going to continue the war game climax, because that's what's left. We have episodes 12, 13, 14, and 15. And High Dive has announced that they will be getting these, and they will be dubbed. I think it would be a delay in the dub right behind it. I think it's a week or so for the dub versions of them. But what we're getting is that Danmachi will be back on February 7th instead of April. Originally, they had it slated for the spring season as far as anime, but now we're getting it a lot closer. I guess whatever problem was resolved, and here's what we do expect. Episodes 12 and 13 will be Friday, February 7th at, this is going to be 8 a.m. That's a Japanese time on there. Episode 14 will be, you're going to jump to about February 26th. Same time, Japanese time period. So basically, it'll take some time to get over to us. And then finally, the finale will be episode 15. And that'll be Wednesday, March 5th at the same time period also. That's episode 12 and 13th on the 7th. 14 on the 26th. And we will finish it off in March, getting into the spring season, on March 5th at 8 p.m. on there on a Wednesday. The other two it's a Friday episode for the first two that are coming back. But this has been going on. I mean, this is what happens with the Studio JC staff. I mean, it's been constant, and of course, this is throughout the anime verse that this is going to be situations that is going to happen, and hopefully a lot of this will get resolved very, very quickly. But like I said, there are some English dubs that we were still waiting to come. It looks like Damia they're only dropping one at a time on the episode. They will only have the first two episodes at the time of this recording, which was the Sunday on the 19th. that basically only 2 episodes are English dub at this time. So, just comment below and let me know your thoughts on that. Moving on to the situation. We have some other good news on there in the back of the Sailor Moon announcement that Classic Sailor Moon is returning to the Toonami schedule. After leaving the classic series that they were running in the afternoon, the Toonami Rewind situation on there. But we're glad. But it's going to be 3 o'clock in the morning if you want to watch Sailor Moon. But we've gotten Blu-ray info right now. In February, there's going to be a sort of mini set of 3 of the Sailor Moon movies collection being released on Blu-ray sometime about early February, about the 11th, if I'm not mistaken. The Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon 3-film collection, which is 3 of its movies, which will include Sailor Moon R, the movie, Sailor Moon S, the movie, and Sailor Moon Super S, the movie, Black Dream Hole. Like the manga or anime source, the film will follow Sailor Moon and her allies to quest to protect the planet from evil forces. The collection also includes 2 making of the featurettes and Japanese and English dub of all 3 movies. And the price is fantastic. It's under $20. Actually, you can get it for about $21 off of Amazon. Last I saw, under pre-order. So I would get it fast. I mean, average box sets on these, the season 1 box set alone, you can get it for $50. Sailor Moon Crystal season 1, 2, and 3. It's like $49 for 1. Season 2, $58. $55 for season 3. So at about $22, $21. That's a good price to get 3 movies out of it. We've said physical media, very important. Go out and grab it. I'll tell you this. Do go out and grab it. One of the other things we've discussed is about J-Kids. J-Kids and Toho, the joined together. We also have said Tubi TV has made some deals with J-Kids for anime content. But what we're finding out now, there's a new Mobile Suit Gundam series movie coming out. And the people behind it, you have the director Kazuyuma Tsurumaki, who did Evangelion, and the screenwriter is Yoko Aniko, who did Revolutionary Girl Utena, which they're also joined by Hikari Anno, which is basically, this is a good combination here. I mean, we're talking about the A-team on this. Basically, the title is Mobile Suit Gundam GQUX, the beginning. Basically, from the synopsis we got is that it's Amatate Yusahai is a high school student living peacefully in a space colony floating in outer space when she meets a war refugee named Nyan. Amatate is drawn into the illegal mobile suit dueling sport known as Clan Battle. Under the entry of the name Machu, she throws herself into a fierce battle day after day, piloting the GQUX, and then an unidentified Gundam mobile suit pursued by both the Space Force and the police appear before her, along with its pilot, a boy named Shinju. Now their world is about to enter a new era. I mean, this is a combination of some great talent that's coming through. And what it is now that that J-Kids has announced is that they've gotten the rights to this for North America. So we'll be seeing this on our shores. Oh, God. Probably, I think it's supposed to release on the 17th in Japan. Probably be a couple months before we get to see it. But this is a good negotiation between J-Kids, Bandai Namco Filmworks. It's the first collaboration between these 2 companies. I mean, I hope there's a lot more of it. I mean, really. I mean, there's a lot of great people working on this animation. Uh, Supposedly, this is going to be one hell of a job that they're going to be doing with this. The poster alone looks fantastic. Like I said, we've gotten some good anime out there that basically, we talked about, Damiya, Damachi, Zenshu, Solo Leveling, and the the level of Solo Leveling, the level of animation just keeps getting better and better. I mean, not every anime comes out to be that fantastic in some issues, but a good chunk of them have been. This is why stuff here in the West hasn't been doing well. They allowed the politics to seep into their studios and not allowed freedom of expression. And that's the thing about itself. I mean, in this country, we have First Amendment rights in the situation. I mean, I don't care what people saying on TikTok to the whole bullshit with TikTok. To the point, we have our issues in our country, and that's always going to be in any country in the world. But I'm not going to allow another country to dominate, or dictate what the stuff that I enjoy, basically to allow it to be destroyed by them. This is why I do speak out. I speak out, left and right here in the U.S. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican on there. I'm an American citizen, first and through and through. And, what I believe is that, we have freedom of expression. If you don't like what the content out there, this is one thing with the anime, the content that's out there currently, you don't like it, you don't have to fucking watch it. I'm telling you straight out, you don't have to watch it. No, not at all. Nobody's telling you to watch it. Nobody's forcing you to watch it. But you're forcing politics onto these series. Then when someone criticizes you about it, you want to shut them down. That's forcing it upon there, trying to force your issues on there. This is why we had the massive change that we had with this last election, because people are tired of getting pushed around by those on the far left and a couple on the right that these are radicals left and radicals right that are doing a number to this country. And guess what? Who's behind some of this? Guess what? China. That's right, China. Of course, they're one of the secret hands back behind the scenes that are trying to destroy things, pushing it through, legislation, using in this country, using our own constitution against us. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to seep in and, basically align themselves with people that basically they know they can manipulate. This is why, and we said it on Man with the Show, that the CCP has embedded itself in certain places, including like the Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the Mormon Church. They've aligned themselves with them, claiming, it's a friendship situation of peace and all that. No, it's manipulation. Why? Because age verification is coming out of Utah. And it's being pushed, some of it by the Mormon Church. If you don't believe me, look at all the laws. Look at Australia. Look at the United Kingdom. All that. All what's being pushed out there are all the same. Some of the words may be a little different, but it works out the same. For example, like I said, age verification is becoming age insurance now. The UK is now coining that phrase. It started in Australia. Now the United Kingdom is now coining it as age assurance. How long before it gets to our shores? It's already starting. Trust me on that. It is already starting. This is why I say we got to fight for our anime, fight for our manga, even though it's not from our country. Still, it is entertainment that we enjoy. Allow us to choose our entertainment. They throw these things out that these are CP, that they're basically racist, we need more LGBTQ and this and that. But let me explain something to you. And this is one of the major differences than a lot of other entertainment spheres. When it comes to stuff like this, like anime, there's something there for everybody. Whether you're a sports fanatic, whether you like love stories, whether you like mecha, whether you like fantasy stories, there's something there for everyone. And there's some stuff that's really good stories. Zenshu. Zenshu is a really fantastic story from the first couple of episodes that I've watched. It shows the hardship of being an animator in the business, of being a Japanese animator, but also she ends up in a fantasy world of a place where she used to watch on the big screen, and now she's interacting in it. And basically, her power is to animate her weapons, are basically creatures and stuff like that, to help defend those she's trying to defend by drawing them and bringing them to life. Yeah, that's, these they just don't understand the stories. They'll start to go after High School DxD. Great story in itself. And I always said this, Redo the Healer. Women liked Redo the Healer. They claim that, they talked about rape and this and that. But it's a revenge story. Do you think revenge stories are all, something that's on Murder, She Wrote or a Columbo episode? Even though I love Murder, She Wrote, I love Columbo. Good stories on there. But in reality, and that's why these stories are more realistic, someone getting revenge is someone going out there with anger against somebody else and would do anything. And I was, there's that saying, you either die a hero or live long enough to be the villain. And that's the truth in that story. Redo the Healer. Is he becoming a villain for all the stuff that he's doing? That he's getting revenge. He knows every single situation on there. That's why there should be a season 2 to this. And then you have a lot of shows, that the one with the cat, the elf that has a cat. They said, it's got nudity, it's sex, and they're talking about having sex and this, but it's a comedy. It's hysterical. It's funny. That's the kind of humor. If you don't like that kind of sense of humor, all that, it's the same thing. It's like if you don't like Dave Chappelle's sense of humor, you don't have to go watch it. But he's insulting. That's comedy. Comedy breaks barriers. Comedy is going to go over the edge to the situation to basically make people laugh, to make people enjoy. When you look at something like that, or you are interspecies reviewers, which was also hysterical in itself, it's comedic. Even in hentai, it's the same thing in hentai. We talk about Bible Black. That's one series that's really freaking dark as hell. Yes, there's a lot of sex in the situation, but it is dark as hell. Tell me, go watch The Exorcist and see how freaking dark that is, and some of the shit that goes on in that movie. I mean, there are people who watch it once and will never watch it again. Or something, I Spit on Your Grave, Miss 45. They criticize anime and manga. But a lot of the stuff that is produced out there, there's some similarities to some stuff from the 60s, 70s, and 80s in the West, in Hollywood. Because there was a time Hollywood had no problems. There was a renaissance. Now they're trying to eliminate that renaissance and trying to eliminate some of these great films by remaking them and changing them around. And it's the same thing with with anime, where they go live action with these American live action ones. I mean, there's only maybe one or two that you could say that were good. Like, Alita Battle Angel was very good. One Piece was good. But, you have stuff like Cowboy Bebop that was like, why? Why did you do this? And, the shit that you're hearing about on Akira, that the director wants to do with that, and it's like, it's never going to be like the movie and stuff like that. But why would you do it? Why would you make it then? With the live action Dragon Ball, it was horrendous. They didn't get what it was. They didn't sit there with Toriyama and say, listen, how can we make this into a live action? You try to force something in there that you just really don't understand the genre. Or you have not read it And we've heard this many times before, and not only from stuff from Asia, stuff locally from comic books and stuff like that. Marvel can't get it right. DC just can't get it right when it comes to the movies and shows. Some of it's politics, others is because they never read, the stuff. They've never read the comic books. They've never read the books. They just sit there and just take the cliff notes and just expect people to enjoy it. They get the title off there, Spider-Man, but you're missing some things. You're missing some elements. And you always hear this every time from us. And then they criticize us for complaining. Look what happened with Sonic. A perfect example with Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic the Hedgehog looked like shit before it was released. When they started releasing the first trailers on that. And what happened? The producers heard it. The people that worked on it heard it. Went back and redid the character properly. And what happened? They're in their third sequel, probably going to go into that fourth. Yeah, that's right. This is the stupidity that happens in entertainment this week. Whether, it's Star Wars, whether it's Star Trek, whether it's Doctor Who, or any anime live action adaptations. When you see some great people, great creators get together and create something, really good, wholesome, or good, dark type stories and stuff like that you enjoy, that's what you want to see. You want to be immersed into something to get away from the realities of the real world. That's what entertainment is for. Whether it's a cartoon, whether it's an action film, whether it's a romance, whether it's a porn movie. Doesn't matter. These are all, it takes you away from everything around you that's going on. Sometimes, you just want to, you're tired, you get home from work, you want to take in something to enjoy it. But like I said, there are those out there that really just don't get it or have an agenda to basically stop them. Similar to our last story today. And basically, this is a continuation with Visa and credit card processors. When is it going to get to a point? And, I'm not hoping that the Trump administration is going to get involved with this because it's already Visa and MasterCard are under investigation as it is on the FTC and on other issues, which may link this into this. Because you can't sit there and tell someone, well, I don't like your art. And because of that, I'm going to stop payments to your account of people who buy your stuff or subscribe to your account. We're going to stop the payments on that. And recently, we've heard a couple of the manga websites and art sites from Japan that, to the point there was like a dating site, which now they reversed the gears on it, that basically I think it was a dating site for anime or manga fans, and the payment processors stopped doing business with them, which that was rough in itself. This is the situation. This is what goes on. And if you haven't heard about Niconico, to that site. I'm not someone who goes to this site. Supposedly it's an illustration service. Has a lot of mature stuff on there, which there's nothing wrong with that. And basically it has a traditional type of Japanese erotica that takes all forms. It references Shunga. If you go to the overall definition, Shunga is a Japanese word that translates to spring pictures and refers to a genre of erotic art. Shunga is a type of woodblock print that depicts a range of sexual activities and pleasures. Now, Shunga dates back to the Edo period, that's 1600 to 1868. So this is something that is not new, that it's been around for a long time. So when they talk about pornography, when they talk about sexual or erotic photos or anything to that nature, they think this is just something that has occurred within the last couple of decades. When you look in that era within the Edo period, generally the art served from a range of purposes, from art, entertainment, to self-pleasure aids and sexual education materials for young couples. So it had a lot of usage, different types of use, in that period and still to this day. And of course, there's some earlier examples of narrative work on these sexual themes that date back to the Heinanen, that's 794 to 1195, and the early Muromachi, which is 1336 to 1573 eras. When I tell you that basically erotic art and all this stuff dates back a long time, and I truly do mean this. This is something that's been around for a long time. And when I say that this is an artwork, when I say pornography is an art, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm saying that, hey, listen, you look at some of the stuff, that's grotesque out there. That's someone's interpretation out there, and that happens. But there's some other stuff that's beautiful, that's beautifully done, that they want to get rid of as well. Because I always say, what do you consider pornography? Pornography is such a nasty word to say. It is. It's erotic art. But we're going to read a little bit of this into this article, and this is from Otaku USA magazine. Niconico Shunga, latest Japanese retailer to shutter because of current social environment. It seems that Western credit companies that are again affecting Japanese businesses. This time around, it's about Niconico, which also has a mature illustration service called Niconico Shungan. Niconico Shungan is being shuttered on January 29th at 2 p.m. Japanese time. All illustrations on it will then be deleted. The R15 categories, known for showing stuff with sexual content, will also be gone. Their Nico Seigai will take down any images that deem explicit. What do you deem explicit? Nico said it has been doing this because of the current social environment and international situation, making it hard to continue to offer these services. When shared the news on social media, it apologized. Never apologize for this. Never fucking apologize. Because it ain't your fault. It is Puritans that are doing this. For the abruptness of the announcement, and said that it regretted to inform the people of what is happening. Late last year, the head of the product Asia Pacific at Visa, Seitan Kidney, public stated that Visa might refuse certain purchases, even if they are legal, to protect the brand. See, this is censorship. This is censorship. You have no authority to shut this down. They are a business. They are a legal business. You don't like their legal business? Tough. How would you like if Visa, MasterCard holders stop using your card? Would you like that? No, you wouldn't. That would, knock your bottom line out. He said that the global and local policies are considered when deciding. No, it doesn't. What customers can and can't buy. Because credit card companies are private business, they're legally allowed to do this. No, they're not. Here in the U.S., this is why we have the Federal Trade Commission. You're a private company, but you're also a banking outlet. You handle money between federal banks throughout the world. You're in a business process that basically, that you can't say there, you sit there and say, well, I'm a mom and pop business on the corner and I can do whatever I want. No, I'm sorry. That's not how it works. MasterCard is also known for not wanting to work with some Japanese businesses if the businesses sell adult material. What does that stop? What do you consider adult material? Are you going to stop not allowing them to sell certain clothes, certain books, certain education material? Where does it stop? Manga Library Z, Melon Books, and Toriano Delay Site, Fantia, and Fanza are some of the Japanese businesses that have been affected by these Western credit card policies. American Express wouldn't work with DL Site, but is generally more willingly to work with these businesses than Visa and MasterCard. Some of these Japanese businesses affected have promised to find ways around the credit cards doing, while others might change what they sell. Don't change what you sell. American Express is the first link. They may not work with DL Site, but they're going to work with everybody else. Maybe it's time to start talking to other credit card companies. There's also Discover and many others. Maybe it's time to start talking with them. This is a point where certain banks can get, certain banks large enough can create a whole new credit card service. To that point, there's money in this, obviously, but the thing about it is, it's the politics that's driving this. You don't deny someone their business from operating. You can't do that. As much as you say, "Well, I'm a private business, I can do whatever I want." No, in most countries there are laws against this, including the U.S. of A. Some of it falls under racism. Yeah. Yes, it is. As much as I don't want it to fall under that, but if it takes to the point to basically bring up charges against these companies, listen, you've allowed activists to get into your company and also basically advise you to do this because they don't like this content. They want to control the content. I mean, Niconico has been around since 2011. That's a long time to be in business. Go to a art museum. Look at all the artwork that has erotic art and stuff like that. Are you going to sit there and ban all of that? Remember the Simpsons episode with Itchy and Scratchy, and they banned Itchy and Scratchy, and then they wanted Marge to go after a piece of artwork in the museum because basically it was naked, and she refused because she said, "No, kids should be seeing that. That's artwork." Oh, it's naked. That is the exact mentality that's Simpsons called it, that is happening today. I don't sit on Niconico. You may say, "Oh, you must go to Nico." No, I don't sit on that side. I don't go to Toriano. I don't go DL. But should they operate? Yes, let them operate. They haven't violated any law. They haven't violated Japanese law, have they? I don't think they violated any American law. You know what you're doing? You're stifling artistic expression. And yes, erotica is a sexual expression. And when it comes to art, it has been around for more than decades, centuries. As I mentioned, you look at Japanese history. The Shunga has been around, going way back in Japanese history. People have to understand that. People that criticize, because you have people out there that says, "Well, I don't like Cosmopolitan because it's basically pornography." It's a magazine. It talks to women about issues that they go through every day. Why don't you want women to know about the issues of the day? There's something behind that. There's something nefarious behind that. I love my anime. I love my manga. I love my science fiction. I love my fantasy films. I love my action movies. Stop destroying them. Stop it. Really? You don't like it. Doesn't stop you from making your own stuff. For example, I know the Catholics they have movie companies. They make some good films, stuff about good versus evil, the devil, and all that. I used to work for a company that editing and duplication facility, and he was a Baptist Christian, and there was a lot of stuff on there. I saw stuff from Focus on the Family, a couple other religious groups on there, but also that same company had hunting videos from Real Tree Outdoors, Mossy Oak, stuff that you see on ESPN, and some of it was really beautifully shot. Yeah, it's a hunting video, but some of the scenery is beautifully shot. And then you have some stuff that's educational. I know from my days there, they had what's his name, Vern. The guy who plays Vern. He did another character called Bubba, teaching kids, the do's and don'ts on using a rifle, and they did it in a comedic sense. And then there were, hunting videos that basically, there were comedies that were really funny and fun to have. TK and Mike, from what I remember. But it shocks me, every day. I grew up with anime and manga in the underground. That's the 70s into the 80s. And then it came out in the open. And people were watching it. The early days, we were made fun of. We were called geeks. Oh, you're watching the Japanese stuff. That's crap. Da, da, da. It's cartoons. Why are you watching this? Nerd! And then they, realized that some of the stuff was really good. There were great movies, great stories, great characters. Yes, some of it had sex. Some of it had bloody violence in it. So fucking what? I'm a Christian. Yeah, I'm Catholic, grown up, altar boy, and everything, all that nature on there. But I also believe that basically you can't censor religion. You can't censor speech. You can't censor art. You can't censor entertainment. I've always believed this. Today, in this time of age, they use everything in the book to destroy the industry. And we're fighting back. We're starting to fight back because I know there's some stuff out there. There's a hentai site, and we got that story coming up soon, that basically is fighting back. And many others. It's time we take a stand for what we want to watch. And I tell you out there, comment in the comment line below. Tell me your thoughts. Tell me what type of anime you like to watch. Tell me what type of manga you like to read. What is your best? Do you believe that some of it should be censored, or should it allow to be all out in the open? So let me know in the comments. We'll continue to monitor this Niconico situation and many others with the visa on there. Be sure to like this video, share this video, and hey, listen, subscribe. That's all I tell you. Subscribe. It'll help move us up and get more and more people to watch shows like this here on Cutacast TV. And Man with the Show as well, and everything else we're working on. We're doing some changes. You're going to be seeing a lot of changes coming in 2025. We just started getting some new equipment to replace some of our older stuff. Right now, we're working on trying to put together a new computer system. Right now, we're still on laptop since our other computer is down. So we've been using laptop. That's why we've been a little erratic. Also, the audio itself, we're still playing around. We're almost got it. In fact, we got a new audio board. So hopefully, once we put that into play, that should nix a lot of the issues that we've been going through. So until next time, thank you for tuning in. Take in some anime. Take in some manga. Treat it like a glass of wine. Smell it. Taste it. enjoy it. Because that's important. Have some fun with it. You know, it's get together with some friends, have an anime party, and talk about it. You know, or have you know, people have book clubs. Have a manga book club together. Get together and read some stuff and talk about it. So until next time, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time here, same time, same square on YouTube and Rumble, 6 p.m. Eastern, right here. Have a good one, and bye-bye now.
Thanks for watching, commenting, and sharing this video. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe, as this helps the reach of this channel. Finally, as a content viewer, you have the ability to help support this channel, as new internet laws around the world will diminish our reach and affect our sponsors. If you choose to help, there are 2 ways, listed in the description below. The first link will lead you to a pay site where you can make a monetary donation. The second will lead you to our gear shop, where you can buy shirts, mugs, and other gear. Discounts will be listed on the site. Once again, thank you for watching and your support.